I want to do it because it's fun. It's fun to do bad things, to drive into a car.
So did you know that you could perhaps kill somebody?
Yes, but I wanted to do hood rat stuff with my friend. I yanked the thing.
And off they went.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Mike Tyson, and you're now tuned in to Mike Tyson Life Cycle. So today was kind of eventful, I would say, because let's start at the beginning, right? So we were heading to the National Harbor in DC, which is usually like a hot spot for motorcycles, and I would say like fast cars and maybe some old schools, especially during the summer months, or we're heading upon Memorial Day, so it was like 85, 90 degrees outside today. So people was outside today, I would say. And it's just a spot where uh people like to flex at, I guess you can call it. And it was about I would say about 45 to 50 of us that was riding down to the DC harbor. But here's the kicker, right? Now, everybody knows when you're on a sport bike, it's just balls to the wall. It's about who can ride fast or who got the fastest bike, so on and so forth. So we tried to do a little something different, right? So on this group ride, we were like, what if we get in formation and have some sense and like kind of do like a highway takeover where we take up, maybe two or three lanes and ride in formation since it was a big group of us, right? So we attempted to try to do that because how many of y'all actually see like the cruiser bikes? They always ride in formation, like the Harley Davidsons or the motorcycle clubs or like the one percenters. So we were just like, hey, we could do the same thing. And we thought we could do the same thing. That shit got a little bit out of hand though. But for the most part, at the meet, we was like, all right, before we set this off, who was going to lead? So me and my boy Bobby with the Hayabusas, we was like, let the Boosas lead, right? And of course, you're going to have, the sarcasm, like, why it got to be the Hayabusas? Why can't it be the R1s? Why can't it be, the ZX14s? Why can't it be the Cruisers? So on and so forth. Well, I was like, well, none of y'all raised your hand and no one wanted to volunteer. So I was like, we could do it. So nobody said anything to it. So if y'all wanted to step up and take lead, y'all should have said something, but y'all didn't. So we had the two boosters, the Gen 2 and the Gen 3, leading a pack of about 45, 50 riders, right? And it started off good. Don't get me wrong. So we was like, with me, I was like, if I'm gonna lead, I said I'll be around like 80 miles per hour or something, which I think is a good cruising speed. And I figured everybody that were on other bikes, 80 should be, I think, pretty suitable for a highway ride without, really doing nothing stupid. So we agreed upon doing 80 miles an hour. Cause usually if I'm leading, I probably stay under 100 for the most part. But I do pick my spots every now and then where I may punch it a little bit. But other than that, I usually ride the speed limit. Anybody that got a Gen 3 Hayabusa, it's like a sport touring. And the thing is, I have cruise control on my bike. Now, most sport bikes don't have cruise control because it's built for, riding fast, racing and doing twisties, so on and so forth. So being that the Gen 3s have, um, cruise control, I was just like, all right, let me see if this shit works. So I put it on cruise control as we getting on the highway. Once I got to a nice a nice cruising lane where it was kind of cars get out the way and we just had the lane to ourselves, I put it in cruise control doing about 80, and uh, you had some that fell behind. Trying to do was just take over 2 to 3 lanes and call it a day, going about 80 on cruise control, and people just stand in the pack, and people follow directions. Most of them was, but you always going to have those assholes. All right, I ain't gonna even call them assholes. Just the wild ones that was just like, damn, I can't do it. I thought I could, but I just couldn't do it. So here's the thing, though. For some people, they get anxiety when riding in big groups like that. So I get it sometimes if you're in a big pack and you all close to each other or trying to ride staggered. Some people get nervous, and that causes accidents, and it causes uh, other accidents possibly. So listen, if you got to go fast and create some space and get ahead of the pack, so be it. I think we got to a point where we was just like, just let them go. Fuck it. At this point, we tried to ride in a group the whole way there, but that's kind of tough when you're talking about 45, 50 bikers trying to get them all on the same page. But the majority stayed behind and kept a nice pace with us. So that's all we can ask for at this point, because it would have been irrelevant to try to get everybody to do it. And here's another thing, though. When cars see a big group like this coming down the road, 2 things happen. Either they get out the way, or they kind of in awe. Like they get what you call it, starstruck, I guess you could say, because it was a couple times where you had some cars that got out the way, but you also had some cars that said, I ain't going nowhere, you got to go past me, and they on a camera phone just kind of recording the pack coming through. Now that can go 2 ways. One, you got the Karens out there who would call the police and say, they ride too fast, or they doing stunts on the road and can put people in danger. So you got those, or you got the ones that just want to do the shit for the gram, Facebook, TikTok, or YouTube. So when I see people on their phones and not paying attention to the road, I hope you're a good driver. I'm just saying. But that's usually what you get when you see a pack like that coming through. So they just either get out the way, or they breaking out the camera phones. Everything is recorded nowadays, so ain't nothing discreet no more. So, but that's what it was. Oh, so when we got down to the harbor, I forgot it was like graduation season. I think we passed prom season, but graduation season. So it was I don't know what high school it was. Somebody was graduating, and they was having some kind of get together down at the harbor, and it was perfect timing because as they were walking out, taking pictures, that's when we kind of came through, and was just like, "Hey, congratulations," so on and so forth. I guess family members started breaking out their cameras and just recording, the whole group that was just coming through the harbor. So turned out to be a good day. Now here's the only thing, right? So towards the end of the event, it was some altercations going on with the parking authority, because they be drawing, man. I swear, you got some people, how you got some people that just take their job like too seriously, and you just like, bruh, you the parking authority. Like, it's not like you're a cop or something like that. You the parking authority, and they just try to flex on people because obviously, when you're down at the National Harbor, so they say, um, if there's a parking spot, it's for one car only, or one motorcycle, which makes no damn sense to me, right? So if we can fit, let's say we can fit 5 motorcycles in one parking spot, and we pay the meter, what's the big deal? Like, common sense was like, we're in a parking spot, the length of a car with 5 bikes, and we paid the meter. I don't get it. What's the issue? But we had this parking authority lady who was just out of pocket. And when I say out of pocket, like, she was like out of pocket as far as you would have thought she was high drunk, or she didn't get no dick that night. Like, she was just a grumpy old lady who just had an attitude about parking legally in a parking spot, and it was just a bunch of motorcycles. And I was just like, I think you overdoing this shit, don't you think? And she was like, well, no, I'm not, and this and that, and so on and so forth. And we was just like, listen, the cops didn't say anything. Why the hell you saying something now? Well, we 2 different departments. They don't supersede me. I'm just doing my job and this and that. I'm like, bitch, you tripping. So, that's neither here or there. But let's just say she wrote one guy a ticket for $200 the max and lied about the shit, saying we were parked in a fire. I think it was a fire lane, or I don't know, some bullshit on the ticket. So we gonna get that shit voided ASAP. And even the cops that were there, that were just looking at it like, yeah, she out of pocket. Like, you could tell she had attitude. She just had attitude with everybody. I'm like, she need to go suck a dick or something. She need either her man broke up with her, or something. She remind me of what was her name? I think her name was Esther from Sanford and Son. The old lady, if anybody used to watch Sanford and Son, she was that old lady. We like, just stubborn and uptight. I gotta find a clip of that. But if y'all know what I'm talking about, people of that era, if you were 80s baby, possibly 90s, I don't know, and y'all seen Sanford and Son, you know what I'm talking about. I think her name was Esther, and she was like, "Watch it, sucker." She was one of those type ladies. But besides that, I mean, it was still like, it's always a fun event when we out and about on twos. You with your friends who share some of the same common characteristics about bike life. The majority, it was actually Myrtle Beach week, this Memorial Day weekend. So a lot of bikers went down to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, for that weekend, for the weekend. So usually on a daily like this, when it's like 85, 90 degrees, we usually be having like damn near 80 motherfucking bikes outside in the group ride. We only had about half of that, like more like 40. And it still was good though. I mean, like, we got to hang, we just hung out. There's a bunch of restaurants around anyway, so we got some food, drinks, chopped it up a little bit. And my crew, we always have a good time when we out and about anyway. So, and we just talk about life in general, or shit that go on in the group chat, or other events that's coming up that we can plan for, so we can put it on the schedule, so we can have fun at those events, just like we did with the Cars and Coffee and any other events that pop up. But I like to say, when we hit these kind of restaurants and stuff like that, we boosting the economy. You know what I mean? So we we actually, bringing money into the community when we go to different spots of, amongst the DMV area. So, like I said, that's always a good thing. Um, and like I said, when you get a big group of adults, I would say it's no BS that go on. I know DC has been getting a lot of flack of these flash mobs, which is usually kids, like teenagers, just doing dumb shit. Like robbing stores and just fighting out in public and just doing a bunch of dumb shit where the community has to issue a curfew and all that good shit. And then when we come out, we ain't about that. We just about having fun, having a good time, enjoying ourselves, and making memorable moments. But here you go, y'all. I mean, this is Mike Tyson. We was just getting into formation with sport bikes, and it didn't pan out the way I thought. But like, subscribe, comment,